Good afternoon, everybody. Matt Lindsay and
Andino Dove.
that's right. And I got in the camera screen right there and the little camera there. Okay, so we are handheld today, and we are talking today about commercial properties. We're talking commercial real estate investments. That's right. So one of the things that we talk about a lot in Dino is running the numbers.
Yes.
Right? Finances. We talk about, does this property make sense? We talk about, making sure that you're getting into a property that produces income, right?
Yes.
But there are other things to consider about properties, right?
Absolutely.
It's not always just about the numbers. So when we talk about that, when we talk about things, a little shaky today, when we talk about things beyond the numbers, what are some things we want to look at?
You want to look at like economic vacancy, depending on what you're doing. Like, let's just go apartments. If we're doing
multifamily.
Multifamily, yeah. So economic vacancies. One of the things that's never talked about is anyone living in there and not really paying rent? Are they paying rent through doing like lawn work or something like that? And so you got to factor that in. Make sure you're going to actually make a return on your investment. So that's one thing right off the top of my head.
Yeah, so what Andino and I are sitting down doing, we got our computers out, we're working some deals. We're actually looking at a property up in Fairbanks we're doing some research on. And what we're gonna dig in today is we're gonna look at demographics, we're gonna look at economics, we're gonna look at the Census Bureau, we're gonna look at all this different information and things for multifamily that isn't necessarily just about the finances of the property itself. We want to look at the location, we want to look at the town, the city, municipality, we want to look at big picture things. Medium income. Hey, is it cheaper to rent in that location than it is to own? You might want to know that if you're looking at purchasing some multifamily, right? Exactly. Is it cheaper to own than it is to rent? Is that a market that you want to go in and pick up multifamily?
Right, you want to find that out.
Maybe not. That's right. So we want to find out that. We also want to know, hey, what's the drive time? What type of location are you in? What's the drive time from your location to the biggest, employers in that area?
Exactly.
Where are your tenants going to work, and how close are you to their work? Is there better locations for you to be? Is there another multifamily in a better location, better proximity to work, to retail, to kind of civic centers,
exactly,
right? So we're starting to talk about location here. We talked about the cheaper to rent than to own. So we're getting into, like you said, medium incomes, exposable income. We're talking about, the economics of that city as a whole.
Right.
So what are some other things?
Cost to build versus cost to buy existing. So so there's a camp that will believe that it's easier to build out and get more subsidies and get different funds from elsewhere than it is to actually purchase and do all the renovations. So in some cases, it might be easier to just build out if it makes sense and the numbers are there for the tenants to just actually go ahead and build out than the areas to purchase an existing one and pretty much knock everything down and build up anyways. So
the cost of money.
Exactly.
The cost of money.
Cost of money.
So when we talk about the cost of money, some of you may have heard of this before, some of you may haven't. It's a new concept, but how cheap does that money come? Is the area where you are they trying to spur new developments? And because of that, the interest rates, the down payment options, the loans available, are they more favorable to new construction rather than to existing product, is what Andino's saying. And that's a really good thing to keep an eye out for, a really good thing to look for and understand from the lending perspective, because if it's cheaper to do one than the other, obviously it's more favorable.
Permitting also. So where are you at? Are you within city limits? What are the red tapes you're gonna have to go over? Is there entitlement? Is there not entitlement? Who's in charge of that? What's gonna be the cost? Is there any subsidies available? Any kind of programs available to help make things happen? So yeah.
Rezones. We're in the middle of a deal, Andino.
Yes.
And literally they just passed this new rezone in an area, and it hadn't really even met books yet. It hadn't met the maps yet. They don't even have solid information about this rezoning. So we're going out of the building department, and they're even having trouble figuring out what's going on, where this area is supposed to be. And because of that, it's going to set projects back a little bit. Now, we were able to figure it out and get some answers put together, But that's a really big, common thing that can come up is, the legalities behind things, like you're saying, the rezoning.
Right.
So just some different things to consider. It's not always about the finances. It's not always about, hey, do these numbers work? And if they do, let's pull the trigger. There's a lot of other things that we gotta keep in mind when we're looking at multifamily properties. A lot of the, or any commercial property really, So we're gonna start with the numbers. We're gonna see if that makes sense. And then we're gonna go into the site specific, the location. Location being micro and macro. We're looking really small, tight knit. Hey, what does that block look like?
Right.
What does that city look like?
Exactly.
And then we're gonna go into the legalities, what Andino's talking about, and everything else. So a lot of things to keep in mind. It's not always about the numbers. We do hammer that a lot because we see a lot of people getting taken advantage of, but there's a lot more that goes into it.
Yeah. Agreed.
Anything else you wanna say, Andino?
Hello, Anchorage. Stay frosty.
Stay frosty. That's right. Look at this. Look at this. That is not snow on those trees. That is frost because it is 0 degrees outside. 0. Way too cold. Way too cold.
Oh my God.
Well, Andino's going to be hopping on. He's going to be doing live videos every day the rest of this week. Isn't that right, Andino?
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Is that a commitment?
Yes.
That's a commitment from Andino on the spot. You can see how happy he is about that. Well, we'll see you guys later. We're going to get to it. We got some work to put in. But thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. And you guys have a great day.
Absolutely.